Hello, everyone! Although Mobile Legends had a lot of stories and lore, which many don't care or bother reading, but it's also sometimes interesting or to know. In this video, I'm going to explain or guide you to the main story of the Land of Dawn, which we call it canon story. Skin stories are not connected to the main storyline, like the Exorcist Kishin Densetsu story, Dawning Stars, etc. The Land of Dawn have many heroes and landscapes. Main storyline does not include individual background stories. But the story affecting the Land of Dawn, or which includes many variety of characters. How did it all started? Back in 2016, when MLBB was first released, there was no real story or universe. Just a bunch of heroes inspired or plagiarized from other existing MOBA characters, with some hastily written up description. People didn't care about characters' background, let alone the game itself. In 2017, 26 new heroes were added, and there was some effort to connect them, like Hayabusa story is connected to Hanabi, Church of Light in Natalia description. 2018 was one of the most important years in the story building of Mobile Legends. In 2018, Mobile Legends had its first major story event, the Conflict of Dawn and Twilight Origins. In Lunox's lore, it defines that there is a unique god, the Lord of Creation, which created the Lord of Light and Lord of the Abyss. An endless war happened between the light and dark, but this war ended with Lunox sealing herself in Twilight Orb with the powers of Lord of Light and Dark. The Twilight Orb falls down to Minoan Maze, thus Minoans guarding it and making Aldous the contractor to guard the orb. Many heroes came to the Minoan Maze to get the orb, with all these chaos about to start. Lunox emerged from the orb and put this chaos to an end. The secret of the Twilight Orb was further expanded into an arcade game mode called Survival Mode, where 3-man squad of 100 players plays to become the ultimate winner. In 2018, Conflict of Dawn, Monyan Empire was introduced for the first time and was on war with the Necro Keep, which connected Vexana and Leo Mord. Then came 2019. The most significant story event in 2019 is the Empire Reborn, which is still focused on Mon Yen Empire. This time it's the Mon Yen Empire versus the Abyss. How Dairoth lead the Abyss army and invaded the Empire. But Sylvana, along with Lightborn, defended and defeated Dairoth. It was learnt that Dairoth was Sylvana's brother. Dairoth falls back to Abyss after being defeated. In 2019, there was also a minor invasion by Tammuz to Moonlight Forest, which ended in Belaric's sacrifice. Comes 2020. This was like the golden era of Mobile Legends. MLBB introduced more stories like Fighters of the Stormy Seas, which connected to Freya, Franco, Atlas, and Bane, where they fought for the heart of Aurora. MLBB also introduced the Dragon Altar lore. This is one of the longest story arcs, where Yu Zhang is the main antagonist, and the Oriental fighters trying to stop him. In 2020, they made Project Next, which is like the next era of Mobile Legends. They revamped a lot of heroes, rewrite a lot of heroes' backstories, and connected them. They improved their cinematics and animation. Also wrote many side stories for specific heroes. Cinematics and stories like Awakening, the Bloom and Beyond Legends are all part of Project Next. They also finally released a world map of Land of Dawn in 2020. Most heroes' background stories are well written during Project Next. So yeah, 2020 was a new era for Mobile Legends. In 2020, they also released the Blazing West story, which Monton made a mistake. We'll talk more about this later. Then came 2021. During this time, the Land of Dawn story shifted to Eruditio. They introduced Dawn Lethal Nexus, a story that introduces Beatrix as the main protagonist, teaming up with Eruditio heroes to fight against Dr. Octavius. creator of Alpha, and it expands the lore in Eruditio. In late 2021, Fate Deniers was introduced, which began with Natan. He came from future, because in the future, endless war has started again, and this time the darkness is winning. So Natan came from future to present timeline and recruited Lunox and Bellaric, and entangling with the Paxley family drama for the quest of the heart of Anima. Which Gushin and Lunox eventually got it? IDK how, don't ask me. Monton did not specify who got the heart of Anima, but Lunox and Gushin got Soul Revelation skins, which clearly shows its powers draws from Heart of Anima, but clearly Valentina did not get it. On 2021, Mobile Legends released its animated series called Legends of Dawn: The Sacred Stone on WeTV. I'll link the series in the description. Then comes 2022. The Forsaken Light was introduced. The story starts with Yin, who was somewhat related to Cadia Riverlands, and then chain of progress of events, leading him to meet Melissa, Xavier, and Julian. In 2022, the story of Necrokeep was also revamped and rewritten completely. They were changed from Abyss Side to fighting with the Abyss. Vexana got the most drastic change in this revamped. Terizla existing lore is expanded to Necrokeep. In 2023, Project Next Update was still continued, which further revamped and rewrite more heroes and expanded its lore in Eruditio. They introduced Nolan with the introduction of Nolan. The lore and universe of Land of Dawn keeps expanding. It also introduced multiverses, and skin stories exist in their own universe. In 2023, MLB released its longest written story call, Outlaw, which revolves around Ixia. Soon, a sequel Savior was released, which focuses on Layla. In the story Savior, we know that skin stories exist in the alternative timeline. Savior story and Major story in Land of Dawn ended with Nolan uniting back to his daughter. From 2023 onwards, no more stories about the Land of Dawn was released, but with every new heroes released, they are somehow connected to the existing Land of Dawn stories. Like Cece is somehow related to Aemon, Chip to Angela, Suyu, and Juxin. They are related to Cadia Riverlands, Lucas to creation of Monyan Empire, and Sylvana. The newest hero Kalea story is also related to Badang and Kadita. There is no main hero for Land of Dawn, but somehow we can say Lunox is the main character in Land of Dawn. Here is the timeline and story arcs in order. I'll leave it in description for you to check out in order. However, the story release in 2020 December 5th about Blazing West is considered canon, but this story affects the main storyline of Land of Dawn. When Claude arrived with backup, which includes Layla, Aldous, Emeralda, and Franco, but these heroes already exist in other parts of Land of Dawn. I hope Monton will fix this story. Monton unnecessarily revamped their skin, but they didn't care about the story. The problem about the Mobile Legends lore is we don't have year zero or starting year. We don't exactly know the timeline about these stories. When did the events occur? We just had to rely on the timeline on the dates of the stories by Monton. But some events are known like the Endless War. The war between light and dark happened earlier than other stories. These happened thousands of years ago. To conclude this video, I hope Monton would put another major story arc in Land of Dawn, rewrite more stories, like Gatot Kacha and Mardis has affected the Land of Dawn, or a major story about Alice. And there are still major regions that are not included in major story arcs. Thank you for watching this video.